Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the mid-August 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Taurus. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me very, very much. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we are going to take a look at just what's going to happen through the end of August. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do three yes or no questions, take a look at your crystal of the month, Taurus, and do a healing note for you. But let's go ahead and get started. Again, starting off with what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so the last few weeks or month, we have the card moderation. For those of you who watched my readings before, moderation is such a good thing. All things in moderation. Really, truthfully, all things in moderation. Spending money, eating, diet, exercise, sleeping, moderation is key. I'm getting that you did really well with moderation these last few weeks. Things kind of seem to be coming to you at the right pace at the right time. But let's see what other information I can provide you here. What we've got going on. The first card that we have is the Empress. The Empress is a card of creation and abundance. It's interesting that when our energies are aligned, things really truly fall into place. I know I said moderation is the key to everything, but I wasn't really kidding. Then it leads to something wonderful like creation and abundance. It's just providing this fine balance. This is also a card of fertility and pregnancy, so some of you could have found out that you've been having a baby these last few weeks, which is very exciting. So also very much so a card of fertility. The next card that we have is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is a card of low feelings. If you look here, the sky is dark, this person's laying down flat, and there's lots of swords stuck into them. Again, it's that kind of card of low feelings, feeling like you're in a low spot. It's interesting. I feel like a lot shifted for you these last few weeks. Moderation maybe wasn't happening before these last few weeks for you. A lot of you were feeling like you were in this super low position. But you're at this turning point, which is awesome at the bottom here. So we're turning from this place of feeling like we're in the Ten of Swords to a place where there's more moderation, that creation, that abundance. For those of you who watched my videos before, you know I love the Wheel of Fortune. It's one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. But this is a card of good luck, good fortune. It's a turning point. The wheel is quite literally turning here. So a really nice shifting point for you. Again, to that creation, abundance, and moderation. Let's clarify this row and see what other information I can give you. The first card that we have is the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is a card of leaving a legacy. It's very long term. This is large lump sums of money, retirement, inheritance. Again, it's that very long-term energy. In the case of the Empress, we're getting to the point where we're going to be creating and having an abundance long-term. Something we all wish, want, hope for. So it's really neat energy to see. It's not like, okay, last week you were really able to create the things you want, and this week you just can't. This energy is turning long term. I do feel like some of you are getting new money as well, that again in return is going to stick around long term. The next card that we have is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is a very patient card. And what I'm seeing here is that you might have been feeling these Ten of Swords feelings for a while. It took a time to get to this point of moderation, to get this shift of energy, to get things moving, to hit this turning point with the wheel. The Page of Pentacles is also new job, raise, or money news. So definitely some new money cards coming in for you. Some long-term money, which we like to see. But again, patience is a big meaning with that Page of Pentacles card. Then at the bottom here, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is very curious. It's seeking truth oftentimes. I feel like you needed to hear something or see something or be told something to prompt this change, to get this shift of energy. You maybe needed to experience an event and you were like, okay, enough's enough. I'm tired of feeling like 10 of Swords. I need to make some changes, make some shift. But it was like you needed to hear something, find out something, experience something to prompt that change. And that's what that Page of Swords is saying. Now let's move on to our next column, which is just general, what's coming for the remainder of August. We have the card Center. I like the card Center. You have some really thoughtful and meaningful cards coming through here, Taurus. The first one being Moderation, the next one being Centered. This is about like not letting things get to you. This is about staying connected to yourself, connected with those around you, connected to the world. It's about being centered. So you have a card saying that we need moderation, and we have a card saying that we are going to be centered going into these next few weeks. Similar to moderation, when you're centered, life is so much easier. But let's see what messages are coming through for the centered card here. Okay, the first card that we have is the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of mastering your craft, enjoying your employment. This is always the work smarter, not harder card, so do keep that in mind. We want to make sure that we're doing things as efficiently as possible. But the real reason why I love the Eight of Pentacles is because when I see this card, I see your hard work is paying off. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of working hard. But it's like you're right at the point where this hard work is really truly going to start paying off if you have not already started to feel some of the benefits of your hard work. The next card that we have is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a very bold, powerful, charming card. This energy is you, Taurus. I feel like I told you this recently, but this is like the power to woo. This is the power to convince people to see your perspective, to hear your side of things. So do keep in mind with this King of Wands, you can like convince people of anything this month. I'm not saying you need to, but it is a benefit or a perk to have that you can get people to see your perspective, understand your side of things. This is also a card of courage. So if at any point in time you may need to like kind of give yourself that little extra oomph or little extra nudge to keep pushing forward, face things head on this month. Don't be shy, just go for it and go in there knowing that you know. The next card that we have is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is one of those ones that has some different meanings and sometimes they like don't necessarily closely resonate. However, the Four of Cups, or that fourth cup on the side of the card there, seems to be the strong message. And this is a surprise gift. I feel like somebody could buy you a cup of coffee, you could get flowers from a family friend, loved one, lover. There just seems like there's going to be some sort of gift. Somebody could treat you to dinner. So it just seems like there's somebody that's going to be showing their appreciation for you, showing how much you mean to them. It's going to be something kind of out of the blue, which is always nice. We love those random surprises. But let's see what other messages I can give you here, Taurus. The first card that we have is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is very traditional, very conventional. It's a card of expectations. However, I like to see this card because more times than not, this is a card of your expectations being exceeded. So again, Taurus, your head's down, you're working on this one thing with one goal in mind, but your hard work is going to be paying off, and it's going to be better than you expected with the Hierophant here. Let's just like throw an example out here, and this may or may not resonate. Again, it's just an example. Let's say you think you're going to get a $10,000 pay raise, you're actually going to get a $15,000 pay raise. Or let's say you think you're going to get promoted to senior, but you actually get promoted to director. Or it could be non-work related too. Let's say you're working hard at school to get a 3.5 GPA and you actually end up with a 4.0. It's something greater than you were expecting. Your hard work is going to pay off even more than you anticipated. The next card that we have is the Queen of Cups. Really interesting pairing with the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Cups here. The Queen of Cups is a neat card. If you look at this card, that cup isn't really a cup. It's more of a trophy. And this is a reminder to you, Taurus, that you are that trophy. So take care of yourself like the trophy that you are. This is also a card of healing, being supportive, nurturing. Again, there's just like this presence about you that people are drawn to this month. Your ability for them to see your perspective, understand you, hear you, value you. It's because you're this trophy. It's because you've done this healing. You provide people this support. You're a very nurturing person. Then at the bottom here, we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, award, recognition, good news, success. Again, whatever this thing is that you've been working so hard on, it's going to be paying off for you, and it's going to pay off greater than you expected. This is just general saying success for these next few weeks too. It's not just going to be this thing you've been working hard on. Be looking for success in all aspects of life, which is always wonderful. Now let's move on, Taurus, to our next column, which is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, whatever you associate with money. The first card that we have is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalry, challenges, obstacles. However, if you take a look at this card, they're fighting with wands. They're not fighting with swords. This is the card of like small bumps in the road. It's not, again, something that's major derailing, but in the next few weeks there may be like little things that pop up that aren't how we planned, aren't what we expected. Again, they won't derail progress or cause any major issues, but do anticipate a couple little bumps here and there. The next card that we have is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is very intentional, very long-term, very strategic. I feel like you're on a good path long term. Some of you truly just needed to hear that, Taurus. I don't know that I feel like we're on a good path. I feel like your path could be changing, especially with the Devil card, the Death card at the bottom there. But I feel like even if you stayed doing exactly what you're doing, this card is saying you're doing well. Again, I feel like change could be coming, but I don't necessarily see like a job change or a career change or anything right now, but what you're doing is the right thing. What you're doing is working with the King of Swords. So now let's take a deeper dive into this Death card. The Death card doesn't mean death, but it does indicate change. This is time to move on. It's rebirth. It's transformation. Usually when I would see this card in this column, it would come through as like a job change or a career change, but again, I'm not seeing that. So this very well could be like changing your perspective on something, changing the way you manage money. This could be possibly picking up a part-time job or creating a business for yourself. Again, I feel like your core work, your core income is stable, and the King of Swords is saying it's the right thing. But this change is like a bonus item. It's not the main thing. But let's clarify and see what other messages I can provide you here, Taurus. The first card that we have is the Chariot. Somebody once described this to me as the Vroom Vroom card. It just means there's action, there's change, we're on a journey. Interestingly enough, the Chariot is also the card of a new vehicle. Some of you could be having trouble with your car and you're getting a new car. I do say this in this column because this is the money and investments column. So of course a car would be an investment. But in general, you're on this journey, and again, the King of Swords is saying that you're going to the right place. The next card that we have is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is typically a love card, but it's also a card of partnership and proposal. I do feel like through these Five of Wands energy, those kind of small bumps in the road, there's going to be a relationship that's really blossoming from it, a very strong partnership that's coming through. This could be like an investment partner, a coworker, a mentor, a leader. This relationship is blooming for you here. And it's on top of that King of Swords, and that person is going to help carry you forward. Remember that King of Swords was saying, we're doing the right thing long term. Now at the bottom here, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's a card of reflection. It could also be a card of gifts. You do have those back-to-back gift cards, so be ready for some gifts this month, Taurus. But with the Six of Cups, it's like you're reflecting and actioning because of it. Like maybe you want to have a little bit more money and that's prompting this side hustle. Maybe you have a savings goal. Like you wanted to buy something and when the time came you didn't have enough money. So there's that shift in energy where you like are hoping to get more money in the future. So when this opportunity comes up, you can buy it. Again, there's like reflection that's driving this change that we see with the Death card. Okay, Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. Let's see what we've got going on here. The first card is the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in the Major Arcana. This is new past, new adventures, new beginnings. Some of you could be having like a rebirth of your relationship if you're in an existing relationship. This could be a new friendship as well, or also, of course, very much so a new love interest. That Fool is new beginnings of all sorts. We have the Queen of Cups again. We were just talking about that Queen of Cups, that beautiful trophy that is you, Taurus. This is again that card of nurturing, healing, supportive. You have done some serious healing over the time, which is positioning you well, again, for family, friends, relationships, love, you name it. You are that trophy, and you've been treating yourself like that trophy, and that enables other people to treat you like the trophy that you are. At the bottom here, we have the Knight of Swords. If you look at this card, both the horse and rider are moving very fast on this card. So this indicates a fast-paced change coming your way. Again, I feel like this new relationship, it's coming in hot. It's coming in fast here for you. But let's see here what other messages we have. The first card that we have is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card of self-imposed restrictions. You see this person is blindfolded and their arms are bound down. I feel like at some point you were preventing yourself from going for these new opportunities, going for these new relationships. I think it's because more healing needed to happen, Taurus. You just weren't in the place where you could open yourself up. But we are there now. The next card that we have is the Hermit. The Hermit is a card about going within for clarity. This light in the lantern is the light that's within you. This is really neat to see because I feel like, again, you're the trophy. You've taken care of yourself, and now people want to experience you because you're the trophy. But it's because you did this soul searching, this figuring out what you want, taking care of yourself. Then at the bottom here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, again, is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. We're just at this turning point, and it's coming quickly with the Knight of Swords. Again, that very speedy Knight of Swords card there. Now, Taurus, let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self. We have the card Preservation. This is about preserving your time, your energy, your money, whatever it may be, to not overdo any one thing. It's interesting, you have moderation, you have preservation. Very similar meanings. It's about conserving our resources, so don't lose sight of that. That was important in the beginning of August. It's going to be important going into the remainder of August. The first card we have is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very confident and very self-assured. I feel like I said this too already, even though the card wasn't there, but it's like you just need to go into this month knowing intuitively what you need. You need to be confident, you need to be self-assured, and don't hesitate to, again, preserve your resources. The next card that we have is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a card of freedom. When I see this card, it literally screams freedom at me. It sounds maybe possibly counterintuitive, but by protecting our time and by protecting our assets and protecting our resources, it's actually going to give us freedom to do the things that we want rather than doing some of the things that we feel like we have to do. Then at the bottom here, we have the Eight of Swords. Again, that Eight of Swords is that card of self-imposed restrictions. So I feel like to this point, you have been like, oh, I have to do these things. Well, the Preservation card is saying, no, only do the things that you feel like you absolutely have to or want to do. Let's clarify this column really quick and see what other messages I can give you. We do have a lot of swords cards in this column. That's typically air signs, and it's very intellectual. We have the Knight of Swords here. This is a card of nightmare, anxiety, grief, depression. It is very much so a tired card, and it makes sense that we're tired because I feel like we maybe haven't been preserving ourselves and having moderation prior to the month of August. So this is going to continue to lift our energy, and again, you just kind of have to intuitively know what you should and shouldn't be committing to. We have our Knight of Swords card again, which is that very fast-paced lifestyle change, and it's on top of the Knight of Wands. So this is freedom coming fast if you can start acting on this preservation and this moderation. And at the bottom here, we have the the Ace of Swords. That's that card of new ideas, new mental clarity, Maybe you didn't even know that you were doing too much or doing too little or doing so much for those around you, but there's some sort of clarity that's going to enable you to move away from this place of imposed restrictions and move into this place of preservation, which is much more promising and will feel much better for you, Taurus. Now at this time I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of it really quick. But question number 1 is the 4 of Hearts. This is number 17 card. That's going to be a yes. Question number 2 is the Queen of Clubs. This is number 40 card. That is a yes. And question number 3 is the 2 of Spades. This is number 34 card. That's a yes. So yes, yes, yes for you there, Taurus. We're also going to take a look at your crystal of the month, which came from this Healing Stones deck. Your crystal for August is Carnelian, which is urge for discoveries, it's vitality. It gives you courage, helps you face everyday challenges with ease. And last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Your note says, people don't always need advice. Sometimes all they really need is a hand to hold, an ear to listen, and a heart to understand them. Thank you so much, Taurus, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, so please subscribe if you have not already. Also, if you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Taurus, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful August.